joined by Professor Alon Harris. He's the founder and board chair of AdOM. He joins me from New York. Thank you very much for being with us today.
My pleasure, Steve. How are you?
What can you see in the eye and specifically in the tear film that could allow detection of COVID-19?
The tear film imager is actually a hyperspectral imager. It uses spectral analysis methods and combines it with artificial intelligence. And what it does, it reconstructs the layers of the tear film. The tear film is the most outer layer of the eye that protects the eye, and there's different layers that compose that tear film that protects our eye. What we can do is actually use nanometer resolution to reconstruct those layers and to see the different anatomical structures in the eye. So what we saw in a study that we did, we kind of stumbled in it, in a study that we did in Japan, we actually realized we are detecting COVID-19 that is sandwiched between two of the layers, the aqueous layer and the lipid layer in the back of the eye. And we then confirmed this in a pilot study we did in the Wolfson Hospital, a pilot study on 20 individuals where we compared the reconstruction of the layers in nanometer resolution with a tear film imager and the PCR, and found that the two correlated very, very closely.
So in other words, you have found that this test is as accurate as a PCR test.
Yes, I want to be very cautious, Steve, and use and be conservative here. This was a small pilot study. Yes, we have good hopes for it. And like I said, we had 20 individuals, and we had sensitivity of 80%, specificity of 70%, slightly lower than the PCR, but approaching it. We since then actually improved the algorithm on this TFI, the only device worldwide that can actually measure at that resolution, at nanometer resolution. And we are hoping now in a bigger study to confirm these results in a prospective, what is called a double-blind study on a much larger group of patients in the Sheba Medical Center.
And of course, with PCR tests, there is a waiting time. Often, this waiting time is quite long, especially when there is a lot of pressure and a lot of people and a lot of patients during the peak of coronavirus waves, etc. How long does one have to wait in order to get the result using your technology, using the TFI?
So this is why I think this technology, if the data proves to confirm the data from Wolfson, why it's so needed, because the test only takes 40 seconds. Right now, the data goes on a cloud and comes back and is interpreted quickly. The idea is to have immediate results. It takes now, it takes in the order of minutes, but the idea is to get immediate results following the 40 seconds of the image capturing, which you can see on your monitor here. So yes, the hope is that such kind of a device could be placed in entrance to malls, to football stadiums, basketball stadiums, shops, stores, airports. Non-invasive. We don't need to use any. We don't use any. Essentially, we take an image of the eye, a photo of the eye, if you will, and we don't come into contact with any of the inner parts of the inner body.
And I guess another effect could be how much plastic would be saved, because I know all the tests that people are doing at home and all the PCR tests that are done at centers are disposing so much plastic around the world these days. Yours, I guess, would have to be disinfected, but plastic free.
That's exactly right. All we'll need to do, excuse me, is to use some disinfection. We don't use any plastic. We don't have, I think there's possibly the rate of actually getting any type of infection from the testing or from a contaminated area is going to be hopefully lower by just needing to sort of sterilize the testing area itself and the apparatus. Because we're not dealing with different type of testing segments, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you don't need to use. I hope you don't need to use those annoying drops that eye doctors, ophthalmologists often use, because then it wouldn't be as friendly to children. But otherwise, it could be a great solution.
That's a great point. I just want to add that the people that will add the most are our important people, the children, because there's no drops. We don't use anything invasive. We actually just take a photo and have them smile during that time too.
Good to know. Professor Alon Harris, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.